Hello again. Welcome back to Dose of Sunshine. I am your host, Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert. If you are just joining me on my show, Dose of Sunshine is all about me running my business. And so I talk about business, marketing, creativity, love that one, and wacky life mishaps that keep me on my toes as I run a business while being a wife and mom. Thank you so much for joining me today. On this episode, we will be talking about SWOT. No, not police SWAT. I know. I mean, that would be really cool if I could totally talk on that, and maybe that will come in another episode. But no, I am talking about a SWOT analysis, S.W.O.T, and this is the kind of SWOT that most businesses really like. And this SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, a SWOT analysis is one thing that a business can do to really dig deep and kind of identify all these areas to optimize and really just see what their business is doing and how they can help to grow and get bigger. Now, on today's episode, we're only going to be covering part one. So this is only one of a four-part segment that will really help you look at a SWOT analysis so that you can go really deep, do a really intense SWOT analysis for you to prepare you for 2019 and additional success as the next year comes. So if you don't know me, again, I am Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert, and I am so glad that you are joining me on my show. I love doing this because I realize that this knowledge needs to be shared because there are businesses out there that may, just be starting out, or maybe they're kind of stuck and they need just that little bit of information to just kind of maybe tweak their perspective, give them some new ideas. And this is why I do what I do, because I love it. This is what gives me my drive. This is totally my jam. So I am so glad that you are joining me on my show. If you are joining me live, please drop a note in the comments, #live. And if you're joining me on the replay, hashtag it up. #replay. I would also love to know where you are joining me from because I reach people all over the country, all over the world, and I would love to know where you are joining me in your neck of the woods. So why don't we dive right in as you guys are throwing your comments either live, replay, or where you're joining me from into the comments. Let's dive right into this topic, strengths. Seeing your strengths. Now, a SWOT analysis can be a little intimidating. Marketers like to throw it out there, especially when they're kind of like starting a conversation or if you're starting a new project. A lot of people start with the SWOT analysis because it really gives you a good kind of overview idea of how viable a project is, how viable a business is, or really just kind of giving you a nice roadmap to work from as you build out your strategies, as you build out your tactics, and as you allocate resources. So I highly recommend that if you haven't done a SWOT analysis with your business, I do recommend that you sit down and you really have this conversation. And if you have done it, I still recommend that you kind of do a small one, at least every year, because again, it gives you a really good kind of snapshot of where are you now, where do you want to be, and how can you make that happen. So I really do kind of recommend that you at least do it once a year, maybe not a super deep intensive one like you would normally do like at the very beginning of a project, but I still do highly recommend that you do kind of just a mini one, a check-in one, at least once a year so that you can keep that business rolling. Now, everyone loves the first part. So step one, part one, that's what we're going to talk about today, strength. Seeing your strength, finding your strengths, and if you've never done a SWOT analysis before, you might kind of go, okay, well, strengths, what really does that mean? And a really good way to think about it is that when you're thinking about strengths, think about anything that is helpful to your objective, or anything that you're doing well. And especially when you're just starting out, this list can be huge. The other thing to think about is that strengths are everything internal. What are you doing with your business? What happens inside your business that either makes your business unique, makes your product or service or whatever it is that you're kind of identifying special, better, improved upon, and really go deep. this is a fantastic way, and you can use a SWOT analysis in multiple ways. So you don't just have to use it just for a business or just for a product. A SWOT analysis really can be used kind of in multiple facets in terms of like employee peer reviews or quarterly reviews when you're looking at bonuses or launching or maintaining a product. SWOT analysis are great because it just kind of gives you a really good framework to identify and look at this process so that you can move forward, or at least give you ideas of how best to move forward. So when you're looking at strengths, especially if you're doing this, like if you're looking to start a business or you've just barely started a business, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to just dig deep and just make the list of everything, anything that your company does well. Do you have a fantastic secretary that's always amazing on the phone? Or say that your accounting's on point, which if your accounting's on point, please call me. And I would love some tips from you because my accounting's not that great. That's one of my works in progress is accounting, but I think a lot of people are kind of in the same boat for me. But I want you to think about all the things that you do well. I mean, one of the things, a great example was I know a friend who is a baker. And the thing that she does well, she has a signature cheesecake. And when I was talking to her about her business, she had all of these other baked goods and all these things, but she was like, but my cheesecake, people like seek me out and I have people compliment me every single time. I get someone coming back and saying they loved my cheesecake. And they didn't get that with some of the other baked goods. They were like, oh, it was good. Oh, that was okay. But she said she always got compliments every single time she sold a cheesecake. I'm like, that is a serious strength. Like that there is a product that you have, that you offer, that people rave to you about every single time they purchase. That is an amazing strength. And I want you to think about not only the products, but again, when I was referring to the secretary, think about your employees or think about what you do personally. Like if you're a solopreneur, there's still amazing strengths. You are still an employee. You're the boss, you're the employee, you're the HR, you're everything, right? So just put the frame of mind of what can your employees bring? What do your employees bring that make your business amazing? I mean, me as a solopreneur, I have a couple of people on my team that help me here and there, but it's mostly me. But I know that one of my biggest strengths is the fact that I am not afraid to speak in public. I am not afraid of public speaking. I'm one of these very rare, like unicorns in the world that actually enjoy public speaking. They always say that public speaking is like second fear next to death, which I think that's crazy because for me, I enjoy it. I get a thrill out of it. And I know that's one of my biggest strengths for my business and for me growing my business. So guess what? I'm going to leverage and see all of the opportunities that I have because I like to speak to people and I like to get in front of people, and other people, my other businesses or other consultants or whatever aren't as comfortable doing that. So I'm going to leverage that to my advantage. Now, as you think about your strengths, I want you to just go deep and really look at, what are your skill sets? What do you have in your business? Maybe you have a really kick butt like IT person who has like this super crazy like ninja knowledge of how to get all the APIs working and everything connected and smooth. And like, I know some crazy, awesome ninja IT people. And let me tell you, every time that I need help, I'm going to try and call them because I know that I have a relationship with them. That is a strength that I have, is I've built this relationship. So also think about that in terms of just saying, what do I have at my disposal? What resources do I have here? And again, not just readily available, but just the possibility of availability is also, any connection you've made, any lead that you've got, those are all strengths because you know that those are opportunities that can be leveraged, that can be mined, and that can build your business as you move forward. Now, the other thing that I really want you to think about, and this is where most people kind of focus on with their business, but I want you to really go deep and dig into the actual products and the programs or any service that you offer and really kind of break it down and if you are offering, full products or packages or even services, I really want you to go one level deeper than just saying, oh, I offer this social media package that has Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever your package is. But I actually want you to break it down and say, what are each of those components? Because each of those skill sets or each of those pieces of that package is a strength. Like the fact that you do know social media, you do know Twitter, you do know Facebook, you do know LinkedIn, you do know Snapchat, or whatever platform app that that you're talking about. Break them down into the individual components, because the bigger the list that you make, it's kind of just a really awesome feeling to be like, these are all of my business's strengths, all of them. Like, it doesn't matter how big or small, put it on the list, because this list will help you pull things out, and you really don't realize how many pieces of information, resources, assets, relationships you actually have available to you until you actually make a list. And I encourage you to make the list. Now, if you're going to make a list, I want you to drop a note in the comments. Please write list. Make the list. I want to see list. Raise your hand and say, I'm going to make a list. Yes, whatever your name is, I will write the list, because it will give you such a high. I want you to see the opportunities, see the amazingness that is you and your business and all of the services that you provide. Because if you do this and you take this first step in the SWOT analysis and you look at your strengths and you are able to see clearly the strengths that you have both within you and within your products and your business and all of your employees, you are going to realize that you have a really kick-ass list. And I love looking at clients' lists, because I take my clients through a SWOT analysis as well, because that's how I help them structure their messaging. That's how I help them optimize their sales funnels and their Facebook ads and all of the messaging that goes into every step of their client journey. Because I have to know what they have available to them. What do I have to work with to help them? And I find so often that people just go, oh, I have like 5 things. I have 5 services. Or, people are very kind of self-deprecating most of the time, where people have a hard time talking about themselves. And people have a hard time giving themselves credit and saying, yes, I do have all of these things. I have these skills available to me, or I have these resources available to me. Don't discount yourself. You have amazing opportunities and amazing things within you. And I want you to see this in list form, because when you write it down, when it becomes tangible, and I've talked about having something physical, when you have something physical in front of you. Now, if you're doing it in front of you on a computer, I get it. I like to, when I'm really going deep on stuff like that, I really like to write it out physically, because it just ingrains it in my brain a little bit more that this is solid. These resources are tangible things that I can say, my business has this strength. I myself have this strength. My employee has this strength. And that means that I have that as part of my arsenal of ways to serve my clients, to make things better, and to make my business successful. Now, if you have ever done a SWOT analysis, I want you to write SWOT on, that's S-W-O-T. I want you to drop it in the comments, because I want to see if you are already doing a SWOT analysis. I want to know, because you are amazing. And if you haven't done a SWOT analysis, I encourage you. Okay, homework again, raise your hand. My name. We'll do a SWOT analysis, and we'll start with part 1, strength. And I will take you through all the other steps, which is weakness, opportunities, and threats in, upcoming videos. So stay tuned. If you are not subscribed to my channel and to my page, of course, like my business page and then hit the little bell, and you'll be notified when I continue each part of the SWOT analysis. And then you can come back and join me, and I can tell you about all the wonderful ways that you can dig into the SWOT analysis to make your business better. Doesn't that sound amazing? I mean, it sounds amazing to me. So please, if you also know of another business owner who could totally use from a little tips, some little insights on ways to use a SWOT analysis, please tag them in the comments, or share it out on your page, share it on their page, put it on their wall, send it in an email, whatever you need to do, because I think this information is so valuable for businesses, and I want you to share it, and I want you to grow as a business, because this will only make your business better. So if you're catching me here right at the tail end, again, thank you so much for joining me. If you're catching me live, yay! If you're catching me on the replay, thank you so much for joining me. You can always rewind, catch it at the front, and I would love it if you caught any of my other episodes where I talk about all the other business marketing and wacky things that happen. But really, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. If you guys have any questions about a SWOT analysis, have any comments or just frustrations, anything like that, where you want some more information about a SWOT analysis, feel free to drop a question in the comments. I go back and respond to every single comment that's in here. So I love my audience. Thank you so much. Drop it in here. I will happily respond, or you can always send me a DM. Now, please join me again, where I will come back tomorrow, and we will be talking about the next part of the SWOT analysis, which a lot of people are a little hesitant on. They don't tend to like to think about this one so much, and that is weakness. But I don't want you to be afraid, because if you're willing to go deep, if you're willing to pull back the curtains and say, what are my weaknesses? This will be an amazing opportunity to turn these weaknesses into strengths. So I hope that if you want to turn those weaknesses into strengths, that you will join me tomorrow on my show. Well, until then, I will catch you on the sunny side. Thank you so much for joining me. Talk to you later.